tell you in that message, come, we can take care of your loan, and we can repay the loan on your behalf and give you another loan. And strangely and funny enough, in fact, whoever called for that such ads, they call on defaulted customers. So I just wonder how somebody called on a default. Yeah, no, not this. How would you call on a defaulted customer and you're ready to repay his loan, and then you're ready to give him a better loan, more money in that regard with a better condition? It doesn't work to me. And this tells you these people are really, well, to my opinion, they're a bunch of crooks. They basically pull your leg, and then they have some hidden agenda. While they get you along with them, they have a hidden agenda. Now, the hidden agenda, they probably can give you a loan, and they take everything. They can rip you off. I'm sorry to say that. Take whatever mortgages they have, take whatever assets you have, and then they can exercise their power on that asset, and end of the day, you're going to be a loser. Or, the most scary thing, this kind of act, it's a money laundering, some sort of money laundering. And you know the law here in case A, if you are subject to a money laundering, you will be questioned, whether you know and you don't know, because we have repeatedly, SAMA in that regard, and the banks in that regard, and also the Ministry of Interior has repeatedly, precautioned people not to indulge or to get in such.
So you mean those people are sometimes using money laundering to pay the loans?
Indeed. They try to recycle the money in an unlawful, illegal way to clean their money. So this is why they ask you to come, to give you a loan, and you repay the loan. So it's all, kind of crooked and operation, and kind of, wrong act and doing wrongly acts, you see. So we have really alerted our customer to be very careful to deal with such ads. Another message is that we have said, do not, betray, if you will, your PIN number, your credit card number to others, to strangers. The credit card and the password, it's you. It's belong to you, Khalid, not to anyone else. This is your, ownership. So you should not really make it exposed to anyone, because if you make it exposed to anyone or used by anyone, he could misuse it, in a bad way. Another message that we have passed to public: when you lose your credit card or your ATM card, you should with immediate effect report to the bank, because what the bank will do will neutralize the card and will cancel the card. So it will deactivate the card. So God forbid, if the card really lost, somebody took that card, in the street, saw it, whatever, he cannot activate the card. So by that way, you protected as a customer. It's small messages. It's very simple messages, but definitely the feedback of it and the impact of it is so great. So this is what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. Masroor, it's about time to take a break. Masroor Tal'at, the director of the program, wishing you a very good and a pleasant beginning of the week. Stay with us. We will be back with Mr. Tal'at Hafiz. And this is your program, Saudi Evenings. Now, Mr. Tal'at, with regard to some of the individuals who call for sometimes people to invest their money with people who are not authorized to do it. When they lose their money, they come to they just make the courts busy and the legal and the judiciary system filled with complaints and papers. What is, I know there is an vivid effort by the government, Ministry of Interior and other ministries of warning the citizens about indulging in such activities.
Well, definitely, as you mentioned, Mr. Khalid, that the Ministry of Interior is doing its best. SAMA in that regard also doing its best. The Saudi banks are doing their best in that sense. But yet, I believe to make all this awareness campaigns, messages, effective is the customer, coherent, if you will, to apply it and to listen to it and to take it very serious. As you mentioned, a lot of the money that was lost by people is investing with unauthorized, investing companies. They're not authorized, they're not legal to start with. So when you invest with illegal channel, you're subject, of course, to lose your money. And we talk in practice. We're not talking only theory. Too many of the lost investment, if you will, that were invested with the wrong people, whom they used the money, and that is an interesting and bad, of course, bad tools they use. We call it replacing hats. In other words, if Khalid is investing with them, Tal'at is investing with them, and Muhammad is investing with them, they take the hat of Muhammad, put it on Khalid. This is true. And they take when Muhammad comes, they take the hats of Khalid, puts it on Muhammad. So what they do is they circulate the money. They take from Muhammad, give to Khalid, from Khalid to Muhammad, with a little bit of profit margin. Now at the beginning they make you really excited by they giving you, I don't know, double profit, 50% profit that no one can beat.
And the word is out.
And the word is out. Yeah, this is the whole, is to pull your leg, I'm sorry, and to get you excited about those. So you give more money, pouring more money into that investment. End of the day, they become to a point that they cannot, replace hats. Because they have Khalid who wants the money, and Muhammad, and Tal'at, and Abdurrahman, and Saleh, where they will be now stuck. And we have experience in the kingdom and abroad such, crook act, if you will. So this is what we're saying. If you want to invest, you have to go through the proper channel. Now the proper channel, according to the SAMA laws and the SAMA that controls the banks and the investment banking, now it's been controlled, the portfolio, by CMA. You have to go through the proper, houses, if you will, whether being commercial banks in that regard or investment houses or investment banks. Why should you go with a crop that give you, while the interest rate, let's say doing 1%, somebody gives you 15%? It doesn't make sense. It should really quickly alert your thinking, your mentality. Gosh, this is giving 1% while somebody's giving me 15%. There is something fishy here. And this is where the fishiness comes from, that somebody is using your hat and replacing it with somebody else, and so on and so forth, until he doesn't have any more hats. So he's broke, or he take the money and, ship it away, if you will, transfer it away. Yeah, and they run away in no time, and you cannot find it.
But Mr. Ta'at, they always use, when you ask them, how are you making your money? Oh, we are, for example, trading with the currencies, we are just buying gold, all kind of excuses, that lame excuses. If you are able to do that good, I mean, how about other international companies?
Well, Mr. Khalid, they have to tell you that, otherwise
exactly.
They will tell you,
No, but
they will tell you that I will replace your hat. They have to tell you.
Absolutely, but
story.
we have to inform people
Yes.
that if they tell you those excuses,
Yes.
then they are just lying to you. They
Sure.
just replay.
Or sometimes, sometimes they go into very high risk profile investment without knowledge. They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the expertise, they don't have the experience. They just go and invest, whether in the stock market, if you will, in a very kind of high risk instruments, if you will, or in bonds, or in God knows sort of investment. Because they have to deal, they want to have big yield, high yield, as quick as possible, so they can make money. But these investments are risky, and they're not always making money. One day you make money, but for a month or so you don't make money. You make big losses that will take whatever profit you have made. So to make yourself protected, you have to deal with authorized companies, whether being investment company or investment bank. So at least you can have a recourse. You can go somewhere and you can have a recourse, and you can go to whoever the authority and file a complaint. But if you deal with Mr. X, an investment company called XYZ or Z, without a legal status, who am I going to complain to? It's a paper company end of the day, so you cannot go and complain to the authority. You have to be careful, much careful when you deal. You have to deal with an authorized, listed company, if you will, whether being in the stock market or otherwise with the CMA or otherwise with SAMA and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. And also, Mr. Tal'at, with regard to those people, actually, that they are deceiving people.
Yes.
Unfortunately, because sometimes of let's I wouldn't call it primitive culture, but I would call it some folkloric folk culture.
Yes.
It's very unfortunate that they just people are not into economies. They don't have that much education about how economic factors works. To the fact that they take us back to the old days of the economy.
To be honest, you know what's the main reason behind it is being greedy.
Greed.
Yeah, greed. You know, if you go back to the financial crisis, the world financial crisis, the main reason behind it, I would say, is greed, but non-ethical behavior.
Unethical.
Yeah, unethical behavior. You see, when you have unethical behavior and you have greed, you just want to make money. Run after money.
Good components for
Sure.